15th, my dad, Doug Hughes, flew his gyrocopter onto the U.S. Capitol's West Lawn. 535 letters addressed to each member of Congress about campaign finance reform. He went up north to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, with a gyrocopter on a trailer and flew from Pennsylvania to the Capitol, where he made his landing. And somehow, my 11-year-old self had no idea about this ahead of time. All he told me was that he was going on a business trip and that it would change my life. Boy, was he right about that. I discovered what he did on my way home from school. I stopped at my mother's friend's house on the way there, and my mom came over soon after. She told me what my dad did and about how he was taken into custody by police. When I came home, there were news trucks lined up and down the street. Reporters rang the doorbells all day long and camped in front of her house all night long. It got so bad, I had to stay at a friend's house for 3 days. I remember feeling restless, worrying if he could have been shot down, worrying if he could have been injured. It was difficult and very emotional for a few weeks, I'm not going to lie. My first words I said to him after the flight were, "Papa, what have you done?" When my dad came home, we went to a nearby beachside resort to do interviews. The temptation to do an interview was like staring at a bowl of candy sitting on a table. Everyone was so tempted to hear about Doug Hughes. I was his daughter, for Pete's sake. Interview me. Sadly, my parents weren't as eager. They were extremely hesitant at first, to put it nicely. In the end, my parents agreed to let me do one interview. It was great, but I'll probably never be comfortable seeing my face on national TV. We had a nice breakfast at the hotel, and this would be the last time we would eat out for a while. The next day, he was under house arrest with a GPS monitor to make sure he didn't pass the boundaries of home. A group called Move to Amend hosted a picnic in his honor and visited my dad at home along with the reporters, because he couldn't come to the picnic a block away at the neighborhood clubhouse. Since my dad couldn't even come onto his front porch, the networks brought the interviews to our home. Lights, cameras, microphones, and reporters greeted me when I came home from school. The attention slowly faded, and soon the media lost interest and moved on. After a month or two, the judge increased the GPS boundaries to Central Florida, and we decided to test the GPS's waterproof capabilities at Adventure Island. We had a fun summer, even if my dad couldn't swim in the pool. My dad goes up to Washington, D.C. once a month for his court hearings, and I got to tag along once, along with my mom. We took a road trip to Washington, and I took so many photos, it probably claimed half my phone storage. We stayed at Medea Benjamin's house. She's an activist in world peace, and I walked to the Capitol with my mom and took part in a peace protest. It was a fun trip, and I won't forget it anytime soon. Some people argue that his message was lost in the stunt. I don't think so. After all, it sure did put a spotlight on corruption in American politics so bright that Congress needed sunglasses. My dad flew, not just with a plain gyrocopter, but carrying 535 letters. Congress ignored the letters, and most of the government did. But the letters got the entire nation's attention, and the letters, which got the nation's attention, had both the problems and the solutions to corruption. I've read thousands of comments criticizing his stunt, but I have yet to hear from a critic that has a better plan than my dad. But among all the chaos that happened, I'm still downright proud of my dad. He changed my life, as well as the potential fate of our nation. He risked his pride and dignity because he was just that important. He flew to change politics and democracy as we know it, to fix it and make it work for the people of America. And I honor him for that, no matter what anyone else says. He inspired others to do courageous things, including me. I went to a legal protest in Washington at one point in time, and I intend to follow his footsteps into activism. Thanks to him, I feel more confidence in speaking up for what's right, and not what the majority believes is right. And thanks to him, I'm meeting important people who befriended my dad, such as famous activists. My father changed a part of history, just like Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King Jr. He brought attention to a problem and raised awareness. I've got a front row seat to see the revolution taking place before my very eyes, and I feel proud to say that my dad is part of it. Thanks to him, the government will serve the people, which was the reason it was instituted, instead of serving the rich. And we, as a new generation, can take charge and change the world, because we can do anything if we set our mind to it. And this TEDx event, as well as all of its speakers, are living proof. Thank you.